Hello and welcome. Now in this course, what we are going to be doing is we're going to be discussing all of the ways that you can use private label rights or PLR to make your online business more profitable. Now, private label rights, and other people call it PLR, it gives you leverage to create more content, more products, and authority with whatever time constraints you are working with. And the need to be prolific with promotional content requires that marketers have new and accurate content on a regular basis. In other words, in order to really get your message out, you can't rely on one message. You can't rely on one social media post. You can't rely on one blog post. It really requires that you are consistent with content, consistent with products, consistent with information that's going to be helpful to people. Now, PLR is available for that, and it's available to those folks who do not have time to research and create this content on a regular basis. So if you had to come up with all of the new ideas, you had to come up with all of the different ways and examples that these new ideas can be applied, you'd probably run short of time, and that's where PLR is at its best in helping you to be able to accomplish that. Now, PLR content is licensed to the buyer to use in their business as if it were their own. So in other words, you are getting in PLR the right or the ability to take what you're given and to either rewrite it or repurpose it or reuse it and use it as if you were the person who came up with the idea. Now, the buyer doesn't have to pay royalties or credit the seller once it's purchased. So in other words, you go out and you purchase this PLR. You don't have to credit the person who wrote it. You don't have to credit the organization you buy it from. It's literally yours to use as you see fit and to credit yourself as if you wrote it. Now, typically, it's sold from one person or one organization to many people. So the PLR content product can routinely be sold to as many as 200 to 300 people at the same time. Now, how is PLR defined? Well, one of the ways that PLR is defined routinely in the marketplace is private label rights. Now, private label rights gives the buyer the right to use it as if they created them themselves. You can also buy what's called resale rights. Now, resale rights gives the buyer the right to resell it, but sometimes without the right to change it in any way. So in other words, you don't necessarily have the latitude to edit it or make it your own. Master resale rights gives the buyer the right to resell the product. So in other words, you buy the product from the PLR creator and then you can sell it to someone who then has the right to sell it again. So it actually is a way of creating more value in the product. Sometimes you can define PLR as personal use rights. So you're really getting the right to learn from or benefit from the product directly. And in some cases, some vendors will give you unrestricted rights. Now, this gives the buyer the right to use it or change it or resell it in any way. So why is PLR such a great value? Well, one of the things, as we talked about, when you've got to create and you've got to come up with all of the different ideas, PLR can really save you research time. It can also save you preparation time. So in other words, you don't have to go through the process of getting all of the blog posts or doing all of the videos. You actually know the information, but then you don't have to prepare the content. PLR can provide the buyer with a way of instantly creating additional value. So you can add PLR to an existing information product you already have, giving the buyer something else, and then instantly creating more value. And actually, in some cases, you can even charge more as a result of adding the PLR. PLR can give the buyer expertise on previously unknown topics. And this is one of the best ways to use PLR. If you want to become an expert on a particular social media topic, you could buy the PLR, learn what's in it, and then use it in order to create content or information products. So let's talk about the ways in which you actually handle PLR once you buy it. So one of the first things you should do is really read and understand the rights certificate. Typically, any resale rights product, PLR product, they're going to give you all of the ways that you are legally able to use that product. And you want to read that rights certificate carefully. You want to make sure that you are within the bounds of the rules created by the seller. Second thing you're going to do is you want to take note of the components you have. So did you get videos? Did you get a cheat sheet? Did you get other content? How are you able to use this content? So you want to make sure you understand each and every component that you have and how you were able to use it. Third, now, what you want to do is archive those components. So you want to make sure that they are put away or filed away in a way that you are going to be able to access it when you want it and when you need it. And so that when you can search for it, you'll be able to find it based on your own personal filing system. And that's actually fourth. You want to label that component archive so that you can easily search it. You want to make sure that anytime you want to find a video on a certain subject, that you're able to easily find that based on your filing system and your archiving system. And of course, in conclusion, having this PLR available in a system that makes sense to you increases the likelihood that you'll be able to find it and use it. Now, that's how you are going to get started with using PLR. Now, in the rest of this course, I'm going to be talking about how you can take that PLR or any rights product and maximize it to your benefit, regardless of what you want to do in your online business. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video.